Yeah, so just to clarify, we're getting this Chris Froome video. This frame here is a lightcarbon.com, same one. Cookie Man, Phil Guymon's writing, and we'll do more videos about that. But that's people asking what the frame was. It's lightcarbon.com, aka Nove Aero X. Exact same frame, same company, same painters. Anyway, let's get to the video. Chris Froome. What do we know about the crash? What do we know? What's on the ground? We know that he crashed on his time trial bike. This is coming from Dave Brailsford, and he crashed on his TT bike. A bit of wind caught his front wheel as he took a hand off the bar about 60k an hour at the foot of a descent, foot of a downhill, and his front wheel got hit by the wind. Very unlucky, very, very bad timing, and he hit a wall doing about 60k an hour. Compound fracture to the right femur, I think broken ribs, I think broken elbow, maybe a broken wrist or an arm. That's very horrific. On the ground for hours on the side of the road with compound fractured right femur. It's pretty serious. It's almost a fatal crash. It's almost a fatal crash. So it just goes to show you how delicate human life is, and also how dangerous cycling can be. So you always got to pay attention. Chris Froome is one of the most experienced downhill riders now, bike handlers now, as we see in this video here. We'll see some action coming up in this video. So he has incredible skills. So if that can happen to Chris Froome, it can happen to anyone. So it's just a good reminder that even the pros, the pros of the pros crash just in training. So just wear your helmet, wear your gloves, pay attention to what's going on, because it could get messy. I don't feel that Chris Froome will recover from these injuries to come back at the level he's at now. That sounded pretty serious, and that's unfortunate to say that. In my opinion, I don't think he'll be able to bounce back, because this is pretty serious. Very unfortunate. I hope he does, though. I definitely hope he does. But I just feel that this is like a Bolocki. This is like a Bolocki situation, and sometimes you have these crashes and you don't come back ever to the level you were at beforehand. So I feel that, I don't think, I think this is a Bolocki situation, and it's unfortunate, because I think Chris Froome, as the other guys are, is a great animator of races and a great person for the sport of cycling. And people say, oh, he dopes and stuff like that. But it's like, man, everyone does at the top in every sport. I mean, you got people on Instagram doping to sell Gymshark leggings. Like, it's not even doping. It is doping, but it's just how it is. It's like eating breakfast. You got to take risks. And look at this. Look at this, man. Look at this. He's still doing probably 500 watts on the top. That's so dangerous. Don't do that. Don't do that. I've seen some horrific crashes on YouTube and in real life, people doing this. Don't do that. Because if you go to sit up and then your nicks get caught on tip of your saddle and you're going that fast, it's game over. Don't do this, please, people. Leave it for Chris Froome. But even then, look what happened to Chris Froome now. So you can do stuff like this if you want, but understand there's massive risks. There is massive risks. So yeah, look, this is crazy. This is how hard you got to look at that. Look at that. Like smashing around those corners, big walls in head, just front wheel blowout. It's game over. So this is the reality of the pro cyclist. You have to be willing to die for the win. You have to be willing to do that. And if you're not willing to do that, then get another job. Get another job. So all the aspiring cyclists out there, understand that's the reality. Ask yourself the question: am I willing to die on the downhill? And if you're not, then pick another sport, because you'll never be good. You'll never be good. You'll never be your best. You always hold back. You can't hold back on the descents. You have to be willing to die for it, to die for the win. Just as we're shown here, Chris Froome showed us a lot. So all those critics out there who say Chris Froome does this and Chris Froome does that, everyone does it. But here's the thing: is he's willing to die for the win. So I think if you're willing to put your life on the line, and just your life only, not other people's lives, but your life only, then you deserve a bit of leeway on other choices, that you'll do, if that makes sense. So that's another thing as well. People out there on driving cars really fast, like, you put your other people's lives at risk. At least with pro cycling, you only put your own life at risk, really, aren't you? Especially if unless you're like a cowboy in the bunch, and no one wants that. Cowboys in the bunch don't last very long. Look at that US rider recently. What's his name? Corey Lockwood or something? I can't remember exactly. Hitting the brakes, crashing riders out. So yeah, this is what we know about Chris Froome. Is his crash is very, very serious. I do feel it is career ending. I don't think we'll ever see Chris Froome, as we know him, come back to this level, unfortunately. I hope he does. I hope I'm proven wrong. I just don't feel that crash is severe, you can get back to that level. So it would be incredibly frustrating, wouldn't it? Incredibly frustrating. Having all that fitness, all that form, being the favourite to win the Tour de France. He loves to race. He loves the Tour. He loves it, man. He lives it. He is the consummate professional cyclist. He does everything it takes. He's got the doctors. He's got the lawyers. He's got the coaches. He's got the wife that supports him. And he's got everything, man. He's just surrounded himself with the very best, and he gives the best of himself. So you got to take your hat off for that. He's doing whatever it takes to win. And also, from what I hear and what I've experienced, a nice guy, a down to earth dude. So we wish him the best in his recovery and with his vegan nutrition and stuff like that. So there's definitely Chris Froome is been good for the sport. Cadence. He's shown us cadence. He's shown us stages, power meters work. He's shown us all these good things. And let's see, we've got another clip here. And we are back to the Dauphiné. This is actually, I think, the Dauphiné 2017 or something like that. So you can see here, Chris Froome, on the attack. Look at that. Contador's there. Richie Porte's there. Is that Romain Bardet's there? And look at the gaps he's putting in. Contador holds that wheel. This is a very interesting psychological game. So you can sort of see the psychology of professional cycling here. And you can see that Contador, he just glues to the wheel. He just tries to get as close as possible. And he's sort of looking around to see who's there. But this is where mirror is really handy. So Contador's looking back. And that's really bad for Contador to do that. To look back shuts your breathing down. So Contador made a big mistake. Having a little mirror there would have been a big thing. Romain Bardet, super skinny dude, dropped. And so Froome is just out the saddle, sprinting. Just putting the, this is where Froome loves it, mate. Look at the Contador looking around, stuff like that. So there's different psychology going on there, isn't there? Contador, used to being the champion, he doesn't like to be the guy getting dropped. And so when he does get dropped, it definitely gets to him quite well. But Chris Froome is on the front there, in his own frame, controlling the frame. And Contador's in someone else's frame now, Dan Martin's frame. Dan Martin looks like a anorexic Lance Armstrong. Looks like Lance. If Lance Armstrong went full vegan, he'd look like Dan Martin. So Froome is just in that frame right there. Richie Porte in Froome's frame now, sitting on the wheel. If you're sitting on the wheel, you're in their frame. They control it. They control the pace, everything. And so Froome just spinning it, cadence, looking down. I don't know how he does that. And Richie Porte getting in that frame of, if I want to get up there, I've got to stay on Froome's wheel. I've got to stay in the Froome frame. And all the other riders back here, their frame is like, it's weak, isn't it? It's as weak as the watts per kilo putting out compared to Froome. And that's not me sledging, that's just like, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. So Froome is, whoever has the watts per kilo on the day has the frame. I should say that. Because there's some days you don't have it. Some days you're the hammer, some days you're the nail. But on this stage, Chris Froome had the watts per kilo no one else could match. He had the muscle glycogen in there so he could push the watts. He had the sugar in his legs, he had the water in his legs, he had the high blood volume, he had the right frame of mind, and it all came together. He had the cadence. So, it just, this is what it's about. Watts per kilo determine the frame. And he's telling Richie, let's work together. Let's keep it rolling. Just like training, just like old days, mate. Just like old days. It is quite interesting, Richie Porte pacing Chris Froome up a climb. There's quite a height difference there. Richie Porte, the pure climber, but also a strong GC rider, very strong GC rider. We hope Richie Porte has a good year this year in the Tour de France. But again, like I said in the other video, I think it's bad that Trek have given him a disc brake bike, E-tap, slow shifting. Give him SRAM Red mechanical, please. That group set's really good, SRAM Red. And so we're giving Richie Porte a disadvantage by having a disc brake bike. Richie Porte doesn't need disc brakes, man. The guy knows how to go around corners. You're not being a pro unless you got that skill. And so we have here Dan Martin, Contador, Yates has bridged across. Yates should have gone earlier, shouldn't he? That's I'm not sure why he waited. Those who hesitate masturbate in pro cycling. Those who hesitate masturbate. A lot of S works in this bunch. So we're seeing here. This is who's that rider? I don't recognise that rider. That is I forget. That's Pierre Roland. And so they've got a big gap already. That's huge. And this corner's just flying, man. You know what I mean? Look at that. Look at that. Just crazy stuff. Just going for it. Richie Port doing very, very well. You gotta have nerves of steel to hold him to the wheel. You know, a lot of trust there. Contador. This corner, look at that. There's a hole there. This is so sketchy. So sketchy. Then the last K. Then the last K is a bit of looking around here. These riders about to come up to that corner as well. Throw the bottle. They have to take a bit of a wider line. Under the 1K to go. And so yeah. Yeah, it's sad to see we won't see this level of combativeship that we saw, that Chris Froome and Richie Port entertained us all those years. And it's gone. But enjoy it while it's there again, because that's human life. Things come and things go. Enjoy what you see. See the magic in what you can see. Appreciate it. Have gratitude for it. And understand that you're seeing something special. That's what it is. So it's the last few hundred meters. Froome is there, pushing it. Richie Port's gear. Froome's the inside. Richie Port gear was a bit hard there, you know, and Froome just had that little bit extra snap. So if I was in Richie Port's ear, I would have been shifted into an easier gear. Match the cadence. Match the cadence. Match the cadence. All you have to do is match the cadence. If you match the cadence of the guy beating you, if it's Chris Froome, then you'll do better. So it's pretty amazing that Richie did so well in such a hard gear, but not well enough to beat the high cadence mantis legs of Chris Froome. Dan Martin coming back, high cadence again. Contador's cadence has gone up. Look at that. His cadence is up a bit more. Yates is there. Cadence for the win. It's all about the cadence, and these guys prove it again and again and again. We wish Chris Froome speedy recovery. We hope he's back to his best form ever. We enjoy the battles in the hills, but we don't like seeing big crashes like that. Nasty stuff. Any comments or questions, listen to them below. We'll see you on the road. Tour de France. Who's going to win it? That's another video. My money is on Nibali.